Welcome to the Block Sitdown. This is the One Foot In podcast. We would take 1 foot into the college football realm, the college football world. And today we got the pre-game of Week 11. We're gonna go over some games. We got some one eye on part of the segment of this podcast where I go over a lot of games to keep a one eye on for potential playoff teams that could get upsetted, trap games or whatnot. You got also games just to see how this conference championship is going to shape out for all the Power Four conferences and some at-large teams to potentially get a playoff spot as well. But before we do all that, we got rankings to go over. Most of the time, for me personally, I don't like looking at the AP poll for most of the year. A lot of people on the AP poll obviously don't watch games, and they're just not ball knowers like myself. Put me on the AP poll, and maybe I'll care a little bit more about it. Um, but with that being said, we got college football playoff rankings. This is important because this is the committee that's gonna tell us who the 12 best teams in college football is at the end of the year. There's a first week drop this week, and there's going to be weekly drops after this. And it was kind of revealed, and I think that this committee is different from last year's committee. It always changes every year. I've seen a little intro where they were putting their little caps on. I think they
Yeah.
got hard head helmets like they're about to go to work. Let's see if they cooked. And yeah, how are we feeling today?
Can't complain. Honestly, I was up early today. Came back home, came back home at 3 in the morning. Stayed up till 6. I gotta take see her ass out.
Took three, took
Yeah.
3 hours.
No. I'm chilling, like working. I was creating clips for those 3 hours.
Oh,
That's technically my work hours when I get home back from home, where I just work on shit, like editing and stuff like that. And then since I use the hours. I mean, Call of Duty will come around the corner. I'm about to be using that hour to be streaming Call of Duty. So, but yeah, I usually stay up until 6, take them out, and then go to sleep. But today I had to wake up at 9, go get a haircut. Then after the haircut, went to my mom's place, took her to her appointment, and I ain't finished till like 4 or 5 p.m. And then here I am. How about you, VJ?
W son.
Um, I just did my thing. Now I'm here. I just did the things I need to do. Now I'm here, man.
Is that a new mic?
It's been the same.
He is
Does it
louder.
not sound different?
He is louder.
Yeah, it's way louder, bro.
But no, it's been the same.
Yeah.
All right.
about
Without
you?
further ado, let's get into college
How about you,
football.
Cameron?
I'm good.
You
Chilling.
good? Chilling?
I'm here.
You ready?
Tried to sleep longer, but I woke up at 3 and I'm ready. I'm ready to talk football,
go.
talk ball, and be the ball knower that I know I can be. But with that being said, I should vouch for myself to be on the committee because these rankings are unusual, I would say. They're different from the AP, but I think more accurate in my opinion. We can go to the top 25. We're gonna kind of compare this to the AP and kind of just address most teams and the difference between the AP and the college football playoff rankings at this point, and what the committee is kind of valuing and devaluing, if that makes sense. First five is going to be kind of very similar to the AP and what we've seen the last couple of weeks in the AP poll. If you do pay attention to that, it's going to be Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, Alabama, and Georgia in that order. I don't really got no complaints with this. I thought they could have valued Indiana and them that high scoring offense and then putting up 55 every game. And I was just like, it is what it is if they do that. Not really surprised at the top five, but then this is where the biggest drop off is, and it's going to be with Oregon. Oregon goes from number 6 in the AP poll, which I think is kind of deserving. I'm not really mad at that. They drop 3 spots, and Ole Miss, BYU, and Texas Tech all get a bump up, and that leaves Oregon at number 9. And what that means is Oregon, at the biggest game of their season, was kind of, up to this point, was Penn State. If you know, that was the first loss of Penn State and kind of the first really like domino effect of their whole crash and burn where Drew Aller's injured and they lose their James Franklin and fire him and get him out the window. It looks like they kind of devalued that and they kind of look at Oregon's schedule. Hey, what other good win do you have? Maybe Rutgers. That's just how bad Oregon's like schedule has been outside of Penn State. But I think they should get some credit for being that team that knocked off Penn State, the team that had high hopes, and now they don't look like a good team. But they also don't got James Franklin no more, and they also dropped the ball to two of the worst Big Ten teams after that. So does Oregon get any credit for beating that team when they were actually good, or was this team never good? I don't know. I think the committee spoke volumes on that. Does anybody have any thoughts on that?
I do not.
Just surprising. It's just surprising. I thought low key Oregon should have just got and in a sense a benefit of the doubt type of look, but I can understand why they did it. It's just I would assume they get the benefit of the doubt. You know, they did their part so far. That's the only thing I can say. But I don't have no complaints with it because technically, in my eyes, they're still in it. So
Yeah, we're gonna be talking about Oregon's schedule maybe later on in the video. We got a game to highlight this weekend for them, and they can easily bounce back. Not even bounce back because that sounds like they took a loss or something. They're at 9 right now. They could easily bump up to a top 5 team potentially, and that's with them not going to the Big Ten championship. But a lot of road ahead. A lot of road ahead for this Oregon team, and they're gonna have to prove it week in and week out, according to the committee. Then we go to number 10, Notre Dame. At this point, it looks like they're gonna be a lock for the playoffs because they don't got a tough schedule at the end of it. Conference championship. What's gonna be interesting is when does conference championship losses count? So if a ACC loss team like a Louisville or Virginia, whoever loses that game, are they gonna be out? Side looking in on that Notre Dame team, or that's something to always look forward to when it's Notre Dame or independent. In the top 12 of the ranking. Then we got another big shocker in Texas. Texas lost to Florida, which looks very bad. They're the same predicament as Penn State, but they lost to that team. Oregon beat that team in Penn State. And Penn State's a way better team than Florida, in my opinion. But Texas gets bumped up from 13th to the AP to 11th in the college football rankings. And it looks like they're valuing the out of conference Ohio State loss when they got upsetted, and Texas was number 1 at that point, but they only lost by 7 points. No matter how you look at it, 7 points, 7 points. But it looks like they value an out of conference loss, I guess a lot more or less, or whatever you want to call it. They want out of conference games to mean something, especially in the Power Four. Are we kind of shocked that Texas is kind of in at this point in the season with one really good game?
No, not really.
Not really.
not
No.
really. They've won basically after Florida. They've won, even though it's obviously we've all been shitting on them the entire season about like some of their wins being so fluky like, but they've won. They've
But
done
you
their
look
part.
But you look at these one-loss teams like a Virginia or Louisville that's not an SEC or Big Ten in the ACC, and then also Georgia Tech in the ACC. You don't think one of those teams should got a bump up or like be around the same spot as Texas because Texas because Oklahoma beat Texas and they're behind them and they have the same record.
I think it's just I mean I hate saying it. It's truthfully honest. I think it's just that SEC bias a little bit. I can't lie. Of just the SEC bias coming through a little bit just because realistically same record. You know, technically speaking, they've done their part, but it's like. I mean, you could like obviously it's around the same ballpark in terms of record, but realistically, it's just the SEC bias in that regard. I don't like to say it too heavy because at the end of the day, it's just winning you're in, but it's like you can definitely tell when certain extents of it take heavy levels rather than giving the fair share to the ACC, especially this at least rankings.
Yeah, Texas beat Oklahoma, so they don't get the Texas beat Oklahoma, so they're obviously gonna be in front of them in this ranking. But right next to Oklahoma is gonna be Utah. Utah is the 2-loss team that was 17th in the AP, 13th in the what's it called the college football rankings. Utah's loss is obviously the big two that's in the Big 12 right now. Top 10 teams gonna face off this week in Texas Tech and BYU. Those are Utah's only losses. So it looks like they value them losses in 2 top 10 teams, and yeah. Utah gets a big bump in the college football rankings, and this is the potential of a Utah team that doesn't control their own destiny. Probably not going to be in the Big 12 championship, and so, potentially if they win out, they could be at not for out large spot in the college football playoffs. They don't got a tough schedule left, and yeah, Utah lost to Texas Tech 34-10, and then 24-21 to that BYU team that's still undefeated up to this point. And then we can keep moving. We got the ACC back-to-back one-loss team that's going to be fighting for ACC championship spot. Virginia and Louisville going to be interesting how the season plays out for both of them. And if they do mean ACC championship, obviously Cincinnati got a chance to play one of these teams. I think it's what's it called? Not Virginia. Don't they face Louisville in a couple weeks? Cincinnati does.
Cincinnati. No, Cincinnati's in the Big 12.
Oh shit! Wait. What's the other ACC team?
You got Virginia, Louisville, Georgia Tech.
Yeah, Georgia Tech. But yeah, I've got my train of thought. But yeah, ACC is gonna be Virginia, Louisville, Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech got one loss there at 17 right now. Vanderbilt potentially still can get in if they went out. It's gonna be very interesting to see a 2-loss Vanderbilt team against maybe a 1 or 2 loss ACC team, or something along them lines, conference championship runner-up. But SEC got a whole lot of teams that are 2 losses and can still fight for a spot if they're able to win out, and it's not out of the realm of possibility for the SEC. Miami all the way down at 18 after their second loss of the season, kind of. I feel like a lot of devaluing of their more recent games and devaluing the early wins they had against Notre Dame, South Florida, Florida, and Florida State. Those came back to back to back to back, and Miami was talked about to be a number 1 team in the country. They had that loss against Louisville, who Louisville's going to be fighting for ACC championship spot, and lost to SMU last week. That's really the only two losses they have, and I don't think they're bad ones in my opinion. But then this is where the Big Ten kind of shows up, and it kind of shows how the college football rankings is actually watching games where USC, Iowa, Michigan, 3 back-to-back Big Ten teams at 18 or 19, 20, and 21. Do you have anything to say about that? All 2 loss teams, all potentially fighting for a playoff spot. But yeah,
I think they got the respect. That's what I could definitely say. They got the respect because we've been saying it all year in terms of USC, potentially being a top 25 type of breaker type of team. I think Iowa finally got their shine for once. The AP's still disrespecting them. So I think Iowa finally got their shot. Obviously, do we think they're going to go crazy? Probably not. But it's like they deserve it. They're on a streak. They've been getting the wins how they should be getting the wins. And then Michigan, I mean, this is a decent Michigan breakthrough. I mean, they're kind of in that ballpark on where I would expect them.
You talk about Iowa. You talk about Iowa. They have 2 losses, 3 points to Iowa State, who doesn't look good at the moment, and then 5 points to Indiana. They kept Indiana the closest out of anybody that Indiana has faced this year, and the Iowa defense is no joke.
It's usually always about Iowa defense, though. To be fair, so it's a good thing that they're actually getting wins though. Usually Iowa just have that defense and they don't win games because their offense is so fucking trash. They can't get nothing going, and defense just holding these teams to like very low score games, and they barely lose by like a TD, a 1-score game. So shout out to Iowa, man.
All right, then we got another SEC team in Missouri. Lost a quarterback last week. And has 2 top 10 teams to face left on their schedule. They got 2 top 10 losses on their schedule. That's the 2 losses coming from Alabama and Vanderbilt. And then we move on to Washington. Washington finally got the respect of the AP this week, and then later on, college football playoff rankings kind of bumped them in there. Went from 24th AP, 23rd in college football rankings. And then Pittsburgh finally getting the love they deserve. To talk about them a lot, led by freshman quarterback. And I think both their losses are coming when the freshman quarterback wasn't in there. That's why they had to make the switch. And both of them losses come from West Virginia, which is a terrible loss, and then Louisville, who's at the top of the ACC. So, yeah. 1 good loss and then 1 terrible loss. And then finally, Tennessee rounds out the top 25, being 6-3, and those losses being Alabama, Georgia, and Oklahoma. Man, all 3 top 10 teams. Not at the moment, but when they face the 18 from Oklahoma, that's 8-0. But yeah, no good wins though. That's where Tennessee kind of struggles at, and they really don't got a good win unless you beat Vanderbilt at the end of the season. Anybody y'all wish that was on this ranking, or anything y'all see that
kind
is
of interesting. My bad, interrupting on that one. Kind of interesting to see how in Cincinnati on the AP still 25, while in the college football playoff they're out. That's kind of interesting to see, especially since they're still on top of the Big 12, especially, and the record is still pretty decent. But I think their losses is probably what they considered heavy into keeping them out the top 25 for the college football playoff rankings rather than the AP. So that's definitely interesting to my eye. But everything else is kind of not too bad. I think the bracket's more interesting to see than the overall rankings itself right now.
One last thing to say about Cincinnati, it's going to be the out-of-conference loss to Nebraska at the start of the season, where they lost by 3 points to Dylan Raiola, and then last week they got blown out by Utah. So I think Utah is pretty valued in the college football playoff rankings. So I think if you get blown out by Utah, it should say wonders about how they play, and also like how maybe bad or good Utah or Cincinnati is. But I think if they kept the Utah game close, they would have easily been ranked, and probably like closer to 20 than 25. But we can talk about the bracket. We got a little bracket to show off potential matchups if we was to start this week. And I think Memphis was unranked at this point. They're not ranked on the college football playoff rankings, but they're the one group of 5 team that would get the nod with Memphis being at 12, facing Georgia in the first round. How we feel about
That's fucking insane. If Memphis was to play Georgia right now, god damn. Honestly, if this was to happen right
that's
now,
a good matchup. Memphis will low-key dog walk fucking Georgia, bro. They have to come back.
but honestly, if I had to highlight a game that I would be very like I want to watch is honestly that Notre Dame versus BYU game, bro. That's low key interesting matchup that I don't think you will ever see, to be honest. And yeah, that's what all really I got. You know, we got Oregon, Texas Tech. We gotta see how Texas Tech fare out. I think with BYU technically this week. Yeah, BJ.
Catholic ass matchup.
Yeah,
Notre Dame versus BYU.
that's a Catholic matchup. I'll say that's a
God, gonna be watching them.
private matchup, bro. That's gonna be crazy to see. I do like the Virginia Ole Miss one. I think that's slow, like it's like slightly interesting to look at. It's really dependent on how Ole Miss can perform on that week because it looks like they're a week to week type of team for some reason. Memphis Georgia is actually a decent underrated type of matchup just because Memphis low key like they've been doing their thing and Georgia low key for some reason has been they're playing games too tight in my eyes to where I don't like it in terms of the Georgia program, even though they should be dominating these teams due to the talent discrepancy that they have. And I think the obvious one that's going to be like probably a good one is the Oregon and Texas Tech one. I mean, Oregon high-powered offense, solid defense. Texas Tech though they've been performing how they should, and they've been running it pretty well. So, well, running it in their conference pretty well. Let me put it like that. I won't say running the ball because there's been a little bit inconsistencies, but they've been doing their thing.
These ones at the end of the day, who has the easiest route to the championship?
I'm saying this side. Whoever comes out, I think is this side, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like, yeah. I just see this. I'm like, Jesus Christ. All right. Let's say fucking Oregon get through. I'm like, okay, well, we're getting a rematch from last year, but we're gonna say Ohio State get through. Okay, Georgia get through. Alabama, Georgia. God damn. Now it's Ohio State versus shit. I don't know. Let's say fucking Alabama, bro. Damn, bro. All these games before not even the final. That's fucking insane, bro. These are teams that should be locked in that final spot. But here they are. They one of these three teams, if it would start right now, is getting knocked out before they even get to see that finals, which is crazy to me, or that championship game. So I think it's definitely easy to decide.
I think A&M got the easiest route because they basically. I think Notre Dame. Yeah, no one's gonna be able to stop that running back on BYU, bro. No disrespect, bro. Bear Brockmeyer don't got it all. I got CJ Carr pulling through there, and then it would be like a Trinidad Chambers beating the shit out of Chandler Morris. Might slap the back of his helmet and start grabbing him up at the end of the game. And then A&M and Ole Miss is such a tough matchup. And then Indiana versus Notre Dame. Yeah, I don't know.
Last year too.
Yeah, it's a whole lot different though. A whole lot different. But if the A&M was able to avoid Indiana at all costs, that would be tough. But I ain't gonna lie, bro. Look, it's looking nice. It's looking nice, man. I can't wait for these games though. There's a whole lot of teams that never played each other or haven't played each other for meaningful games and deep into the season. We get to see that, and I love what the playoff and 12-team format is. But stop making it 24, bro. I'm tired of seeing them graphics on my feed, bro.
Yeah, no cap.
It's too much, bro. This ain't March Madness, bro. This fucking football we're talking about, bro. 16 games is already a fucking lot for NFL, bro. They do 17 regular season games. You're asking fucking, we go from 12 team playoffs to fucking, and that's 16 games. How many would 24 be? It should be like 19 or some shit, bro. But yeah, that concludes that. I don't know if we're gonna go over it every single week unless like something drastically changes. Yeah. But I just want to get y'all thoughts on how the committee is looking at certain things, and who they value and devalue in these college football playoff rankings. But I think they're a little bit more knowledgeable of everything. I just think the biggest one was Oregon and Texas, and even Utah getting a big jump like that. I wouldn't think they would show them that much respect. But comes to them losses when you value that 7-8 matchup. 7-8 matchup being BYU, the Cougars, Bear Bachmeier and his whole story. Going to Texas Tech. It's gonna be at Texas Tech. Fucking Bailey on that defense is leading the country in sacks. This defense gets at it. They got $1 billion fucking donor, Patrick Mahomes, in there donating money, and this team is completely different this year. They went to that portal, the NIL, and they're one of these teams that are striving because of the new rules and NCAA. So shout out that Baron Morton coming back, second game back, and he's been a guy that's been in and out the lineup. I forget his name because of that. But they were able to kind of just beat the shit out of Kansas State last week in his first start and make it not really close. Cameron Dickey didn't have the best game last week, but you know, it's gonna be some good running backs in this game. L.J. Martin, Cameron Dickey, neither one of them had good games last week. L.J. Martin came out the game. He should be a healthy scratch for this game though. But yeah, it's gonna be a Big 12 matchup, potentially a Big 12 championship pregame show, I guess. But it's very valuable because BYU has Cincinnati in a couple weeks, and if BYU drops 2, they're gonna kiss their playoff hopes goodbye. So how we feeling about this?
Ooh, I think. I mean, you just said it already earlier. This is arguably a preview for the Big 12 championship matchup. I think it's definitely going to be definitely a good one, especially since these Big 12 teams have honestly been doing it offensively super nicely too. I'm starting to watch a little bit more Big 12 games, and offensively they're really like starting to fold in, and they look pretty solid. So I definitely could see this being like I won't say shootout, but a score after score, you know, in like the medium to high range scoring range for me. So I could definitely see it like that. Right.
Yeah, bro. I never thought I would see the day where BYU, Texas Tech would be in a college football playoff contentions, and let alone they're about to play each other before they even, hit playoffs. So this game could go either way, especially for BYU. I know for a while for BYU, it's like, they have this season where it's up and high, but, due to the 4-team playoffs, they didn't really get to see it all like that. They get overshadowed due, they're not in the Big Ten or the SEC, and but BYU having a good season. Same with Texas Tech. They're both having a good season, and I hope. I really don't know who I would even want to win in this situation, but I mean, one of them has one loss, the other one don't. So we'll see how that goes. Kevin.
All right. I just checked the stats. Texas Tech 1 loss. It's gonna be the Arizona State. It's when Will Hammond was the backup quarterback. He was in, and they had that late fourth quarter run, and Sam Levitt and Jordan Tyson was able to make a magical drive to win that game, and that would be their only loss. So you talk about this team being good. This team really doesn't have no flaws in Texas Tech, man. Maybe you can say something about the pass catches, but Baron Morton's such a good running back and has that guy to rely on the backfield and Cameron Dickey that this team is really flawless, bro. Maybe you could test out that secondary for Barry Bachmeier. Maybe you have to play a spy on him and linebacker, and that's going to be one less in coverage potentially, if you want to look at it that way. But I'm real big on this Texas Tech team, and people look at that 1 loss, and if Texas Tech does lose this, that makes them 2 losses, and BYU in a couple weeks got to play Cincinnati, Cincinnati has 1 loss in conference play, and what that means is, hey, if BYU loses that, Cincinnati's going to be in a play or in the conference championship. BYU's in the conference championship, and then the 2-loss Texas Tech team is going to be looking on the outside looking in, just like Utah is right now. So you talk about stakes. This is a lot at stake, and this is a must-win for Texas Tech, in my opinion, if they want chances at the playoffs. Because it's a lot on the line right now, and yeah, I was looking at Texas Tech's schedule, Texas Tech's schedule. Last week they won by 23. I told you with Kansas State. That's the closest margin that they have won a game by, they've won 24-24. They all they do is blow out teams. The only time they didn't was Arizona State, and we know how good Sam Levitt and Jordan Tyson is in Arizona State, and you face the backup quarterback at Texas Tech, Will Hammond. So you talk about Utah. They faced Utah. They beat them by 24. Houston, another team that's top 5 in the Big 12, 24. Arizona State lost by 4, but you talk about all these wins they're racking up. They're doing it pretty convincingly, and this is like an Indiana team of the Big 12, in my opinion. And I gotta go Texas Tech, and I gotta say it's gonna be like a maybe 2-score game. I'll give them 10. I'll do 41-31 in Texas Tech favor. This is gonna be an environment that's gonna be very hard to play in. I'm hearing people camping out since Monday. They've been camping out since Monday to get these tickets to a top 10 team in top 10 matchup. BYU 8-0 on the season, and if they want to keep their hopes alive, it starts right here. And I'm not saying keep their hopes alive, but make it a lot easier to just lean back and hit cruise control until you hit Cincinnati in that roadblock. But if you lose here, yeah, you're on thin ice now. VJ, how you feel?
Ooh, man, this is tough, man. This is
Asian persuasion.
Like I said, this is literally the peak of both sides right now, and this is where it matters the most, especially, man. This is tough. Damn. I wouldn't say this is a 50-50, but right now it's just Texas Tech on a roll right now, bro. They on a roll. They doing the thing. It's tough. It's tough to go against right now what I've seen from them. So I'm gonna go Texas Tech 35-24.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh man.
Come on. Come
Uh,
on. Bear.
Bachmeyer. Do I ride it? Do I ride the with my Asian brother right here, man?
To the wheels fall off.
Did the wheel fall off? I can't do it, bro. I got Texas Tech, man.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah, I really want to believe in this one, but they're going to Texas Tech. Tech is Jesus. Holy shit! I need to reset, bro.
Tekken.
I guess I want to go play fucking Tekken or some shit. Anyways, Texas Tech. Fucking, I feel like they're about to come in this game playing. They need, this is a must win game. They know how important this game is going to be, and honestly, Bachmeyer is about to get really tested. You said it already. Texas Tech looking damn near like perfect. In both offense, well, I'm gonna say offense. But Bachmeyer, he's gonna have to like fucking get in his Heisman fucking contention form if you want to possibly win this game. So yeah, I really want to ride with Bachmeyer and BYU, but I got Texas Tech with this one. And with that being said, I got the score. I believe. I think we be a 2-score, 3-score game, depending on how you look at it. I give it 35-21.
I really do think BYU they got overtime wins. They got 3-point victories like on Colorado. So that just shows like how kind of like I wouldn't say lucky they've gotten, but I've watched games where they got some good calls, and it's like, oh, that kind of like saved you a little bit. But I'm really gonna doubt Bear Bachmeyer and his legs this game. You got David Bailey, 11.5 sacks on the year, leads the nation, and then you got Romello Height. Romello Height's another great linebacker on this team, and I think them linebackers gonna have to chase him, bro. You better learn how to slide. You better not try to hurdle nobody, because he's gonna get speared out of midair, and that ball's gonna pop loose every single time. So good luck to the freshman and Bear Bachmeyer, the Asian brother. But yeah, this Texas Tech team is loaded, bro. From every position, they're looking like they're about to be a powerhouse. And run this Big 12 for a long time, but BYU steps into their domain. Let's see if they could come out with the victory. And that leads us to our next game. We got a SEC matchup. Yes, SEC has fucking ranked matchups every week, it feel like. Less this week, though. I think it's a ranked matchup this week. As I say that, number 3, Texas A&M, undefeated. Another undefeated team going on the road to Missouri in that construction site of a stadium at the moment. Ranked number 22 in the nation. 6-2 is Missouri. Zollers basically is going to be the guy going forward, and they had that loss against Vanderbilt 2 weeks ago. Had a time to get a bye week. Pretty good opportunity for a bye week when you lose your starting quarterback. And now this Texas A&M team's gonna come into town, and they're gonna be looking to throw over top and test this Missouri secondary out a lot. I think the defensive line for Missouri is pretty decent, and I think if they can get pressure on Marcel Reed, is gonna be maybe a little slower day for that Texas A&M offense. But this defense for Texas A&M is really what is kind of like the weak point of their team. But it has come alive in the coming days. But you talk about 40+ points to Arkansas, and Arkansas is over here fucking don't even got a head coach at the moment. And that's just how bad this A&M defense just shows up on games. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a grueling matchup potentially. If Texas A&M can't finish their food early and just get them scoring drives and start early like they're used to. I just don't know if Missouri's gonna be able to keep up with this dynamic Texas A&M offense. But I'm talking about Marcel Reed, those 1 or 2 picks, and you talk about an end zone or red zone turnover for Marcel Reed or something like that, then we're looking at a completely different ball game. And I just think Cassius Howell on the one side, Texas A&M. I talk about Missouri's defensive line being pretty decent. Cassius Howell was second in the nation in sacks, so he's gonna have to get out after it and make Zollers struggle in that backfield for the first time, getting his start. So yeah, how y'all feel about this? Let's go with VJ.
Ooh. Definitely an intriguing matchup just because A&M on a road and on against technically a ranked opposition, even though Missouri's
What do you mean
borderline
technically?
against.
What do you mean technically?
Hey man, Missouri's at that 20 that 25 range, so they could be in and out depending on how people think about it. But it's still an away environment for A&M. I think it's definitely going to be a good showcasing, a good test for A&M to keep building that on whatever they got going on, that momentum. I think for Missouri, this is basically do or die essentially. Even though shit has not gone your way, this is do or die in that regard because you lose, you're basically out college football playoff. I mean, you still got. I think they're bowl eligible if I remember right.
Yeah, they got
Yeah,
Uh,
6. They got 6.
6-2.
yeah, they're bowl eligible, so that's cool. But is your playoff hope still alive? This is where it matters now, and you're at home. So the biggest benefit you can have is just can you show up, being consistent, and take advantage of what A&M gives you, which is arguably, like you just said, their defense. So I like to see this one just because it has a lot of implications on both sides. Obviously, A&M, they take a loss, it doesn't hurt them, but it's like now you really got to step up. But for Missouri, this is do or die. So, well, what about you, Rack?
Yeah. For Missouri, they're lucky they're gonna have this game at home. Obviously A&M and Marcel Reed they show a lot of, not a lot. They have time a moment where they make things close when they shouldn't be, and that's just Marcel Reed just making mistakes, and team just not really capitalizing when they should. It's like they have these moments to capitalize it, and they just somehow just don't. So for Missouri, they're home. This is basically a do or die game. They're currently 2-2 in conference play. It's gonna be a long way. I don't know who they still got left in their schedule to even compete.
A&M
Missouri,
or Missouri?
Missouri.
Missouri. I don't think that
SEC wise.
SEC wise.
Yeah.
They got all SEC opponents left. They have Oklahoma left, Mississippi State, and Arkansas. Oklahoma
Okay.
didn't
I
get
mean, depending how if they could win this game, they have a chance, but they still got to compete with Ole Miss, Georgia, Alabama, who's still undefeated. You better hope Alabama lose. I mean, if they was to beat A&M right here, Alabama would be the number one in their SEC. Then they would have to see who had the better strength of schedule at that point, and I don't know if Missouri will be able to get that. But yeah, they just need to capitalize whenever Marcel Reed make a mistake. You're home. Create that environment for him. He's gonna have his moments early on, but that's when you got to capitalize. But you gotta see if they can or not. Cameron.
Yeah. Yeah, it's capitalizing on Marcel Reed's mistakes, and you got to get pressure on Marcel Reed. You try to just attack that offensive line, send different packages, and just try to get through. Because I think if you get pressures on Marcel Reed, you're gonna force him to just rely on his receivers a lot more. And
Yep.
sometimes, if the ball gets away from him or a bad decision is made, that's when you can strike. But it has been their third. Texas A&M had a bye week as well with Missouri, so they both had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. Texas A&M hasn't been back at their crib since October 11th in the Florida win. So it's been 3 straight away games for them, which is unfortunate. But if they get through this game, then they got 2 back-to-back home games, and then you got at Texas. And that's going to be the game that Texas A&M is going to circle. And it's going to be, this game is going to really tell if that game's meaningful or not. Because even if they win out on Saturday against Missouri, then this Texas game doesn't really mean more or mean anything for Texas A&M. It's going to be more for Texas. But with that being said, talk about Zollers. I think he's a pretty decent quarterback, but I think this Texas A&M defense cannot show up at times, and I think that's why this Texas A&M offense has to play up to and drop 40 points every single fucking game. But I have to lean towards Texas A&M again. I'm a real big fan of this offense. The defense is led by Cash How. I keep bringing up his name because he's been such a dominant force. Utilize the transfer portal and is able to make a splash and be a potential top 10 pick in this upcoming draft. But I got to go Texas A&M 37-34. It's going to be a close game just because I think Missouri's offense, Ahmad Hardy, we haven't talked about him at all. I haven't brought up his name at all. But he's still one of the best rushers in all of college football. He hasn't showed up the last couple weeks, and last week he kind of showed back out like, oh, this is what he could do. Okay, we're going to need you to actually do something in the Texas A&M game if we want a chance to win. And, yeah, I got Texas A&M rolling to 9-0. BJ.
Right. That's fair. I really just need to see how Missouri's gonna look with the new quarterback. I mean, when he played, at least when he came in after one bro got injured, fucking
Oh,
I
for
forgot his
real.
name. Yeah, Prabula. Once he got injured, he actually played decent against that Vandy team. So it wasn't terrible, but I think it was a bye week, and now you're here in this game, if I remember right, the schedule. So you have basically a bye week to work with to build up and all that whatnot. So gotta see how they come out because A&M, you already know they're gonna come out with an edge. They're gonna come out scoring. They know they gotta do their thing. They're undefeated. You know they just got that. They got the world, like the pressure of the country just watching them, and especially in Texas A&M area, just they're pushing on because they're undefeated. You're technically the eye of the SEC right now because of how like you're looking and you're winning and you're undefeated. So it's just how can Missouri show up? But personally, I got A&M winning. I'd say A&M 38-28.
Yeah, I basically said what I needed to say. If Missouri want a chance in this game, they got to capitalize whenever Marcel Reed make mistakes. If not, if they can't put that pressure on that O line and get start making Marcel think about like, hey, they might send that pressure. I'm feeling a little uncomfortable in the pocket. I might need to run. If they don't got him thinking about that, he gonna be chilling and just I'm not gonna he might run up the score just because. But I have A&M obviously. What type of score am I feeling? I want to say 42, but I'm not gonna. I don't think that's gonna happen. So I'm gonna say 35 A&M and Missouri. I give them 28. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to know what fucking receiver's gonna be the one catching the most, bro. Because Mario Craven was at the start. He was one of them guys that was the highest receiving yards in the country, like 3 fucking 100-yard games back to back to back. And then KCC came alive, and then you got their third and Ashton Bethel Roman, their wide receiver three. He's been the one leading them the last couple games. But we look at the last couple games. It's been Arkansas and LSU, and that blowout in LSU 2 weeks ago. But like I'm see a drive. If I was able to see a drive from Missouri on offense, bro, I would be able to pick this game a little bit more accurately because I think Zales is really that guy. I'm not trying to underrate him in any way, shape, or form. Because if he was in another SEC matchup, I might pick Missouri, bro, just because I think Zales is that good. And he kind of just got thrown in this spot like randomly. Unfortunately, he had a bye week to prepare though, at least. But I think it's gonna be a very interesting game. 3:30 start time for that, and yeah. Texas A&M continue trying to be undefeated, and they're in uncharted territory. They haven't been in this spot in fucking 30 years. So shout out Mike Elko, second year as a head coach for the A&M. Finally was able to move on from Jimbo Fisher. Mike Elko's been that guy, man. So shout out him. He deserves a lot more praise, and it's unfortunate he's at A&M because I know fucking LSU, fucking Penn State would be calling his ass. But A&M got the money. He's not going nowhere. I would assume so. Moving on, we got a Big Ten matchup, a ranked Big Ten matchup, bruh. Like for the first time and feel like forever, bruh. And that's because Penn State likes to be shitty on us this year, but it's a top 20 matchup. College football playoffs came out with their rankings, and they have Iowa at 20. They are at home in this game. We know how crazy that environment can be. If you're in the Big Ten or even across the country, you should know how toxic and how loud Iowa can be. It's not a night game. It's at 3:30, but still, they're hosting number 9 Oregon. Oregon just got kind of like holding the fucking college football playoff rankings. They should be pissed off. Dante Moore should be willing to go out on that defense and show him what he has to offer, bro. Oregon's offense is very dynamic. It's going to be going up against this Iowa defense, who's, again, like I talked earlier in the college football rankings when we were talking about Iowa and them gaining their respect. They have one loss to Iowa State early in the season, week 2, 16-13 loss, and then a 2015 loss to Indiana, who that's the closest game Indiana's had this year, and Indiana's undefeated. So I think that should be given some type of credit. But yeah, Gronowski has won in every level he's ever played in. He was a FCS quarterback, won multiple national championships, I'm pretty sure, over there. Hasn't had the best season so far. I'm looking at his shit. 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. How the fuck are they not getting in the fucking end zone? It's because they don't need to score that much because they got that defense. But yeah, gonna be very interesting, I think, because this is gonna be the start of a November schedule for Oregon that is just flooded with ranked opponents and great Big Ten teams. Iowa, Minnesota, USC, Washington. So we're talking about potentially Oregon might be on the outside looking into this playoffs when it's all said and done. If they take another loss, oh man, I wouldn't imagine what the college world playoff rank is going to have them if they got 2 losses. But yeah, they got a chance to prove themselves. Oregon does, or they could completely shit the bed and give one of these USC, Washington, or Iowa teams the potential to jump up and maybe get in that playoffs and take their spot. So Oregon got to be on their P's and Q's for the rest of the season. And yeah, it's going to be very interesting, and we're really going to see what this Oregon team is made of going into November now. BJ?
Ooh, this is interesting. Just nice little Big Ten matchup. It's actually an eye-opening one since they got numbers for once. So it's definitely going to be fun to watch in that regard. Definitely a big implication for the Big Ten itself in general because realistically, I think Oregon should be third place in that Big Ten spot, while Iowa should be right behind them because they're almost the same record. I think they have the same conference record. So
Yeah.
it's definitely going to be a big implication on that regard. But I think this is a game more settling on, can Iowa take that step finally? You know, they're back in the spotlight. They got life again. Can they take that step? Obviously we seen what Oregon can do. They've been blowing teams out, something, but they just had a close one with Wisconsin not too long ago. So that definitely could show some things. But Iowa, man, this is your chance to take an opportunity. You're at home, big opportunity. You know, you gotta take advantage of it. So this is a game I actually am interested to see, just because it's actually big implications on the Big Ten standings and overall the playoffs too. Because if Iowa were to lose, they're probably not gonna get no hope into touching that top 12 spot anymore. So big chance for that. What about you, right?
Yeah, Oregon. Honestly, Oregon was looking so good early in the season, and we didn't think they. Well, obviously, when they went faced Indiana, it could have went both ways. Obviously, they ended up on the side of the losing side, but they have two. Both the team have a common enemy in Indiana, who they both lost to. Iowa lost by 5, 20-15, and Oregon lost 30-20. So I'm not gonna lie, Oregon's gonna definitely have to come. Definitely not slacking. You gotta make sure whenever Dante Moore throw that ball, you better be watching out for them safety up top, because it seems like this Iowa defense. It seems like I haven't watched any Iowa, so it's like just knowing that they're able to keep Indiana only scoring 20 points, and we know how good Indiana. They're the current number 2 team in the college football rankings, so that's pretty impressive in Iowa side. But also looking into the Big Ten, Iowa and Oregon, they got the same record in the Big Ten. So if one of these guys getting bounced out, don't have no hope for that Big Ten championship. I mean, it seems like Indiana and Ohio State both. I mean, hold on, I'm not going to. There's the team up north that Ohio State got to worry about, but we're going to get there when we get there. But yeah, one of these teams might have hope when it comes to that Big Ten championship. The other, you're gonna have to just watch and see where they go from there. Yeah, that's all I got. Cameron?
I'm just looking at this. It just feels like a trap game. Like, I don't. Maybe it's because I was at home.
Yeah.
Maybe because Oregon hasn't looked the best the last 2 weeks. They put up 21 points against Wisconsin. That's a good defense, right? But 21 points to Wisconsin. You're just lucky Wisconsin didn't have a fucking a quarterback that was actually fucking competent, or you would be in trouble. And I was with Dante Moore leaving the game in third quarter. I don't care about that. I don't give a fuck if it was fucking third stringers out there. I feel like they should put up more than 21 points. Dante Moore, and his Oregon team was able to get a bye week off this last week, and now they're going into Iowa. And I just continue to just look back at this Iowa schedule like, man, they beat Penn State by 1. They was able to beat the shit out of Minnesota. Like, I feel like they're on a little roll. And they was able to beat Wisconsin 37-0. I think I got to do what I hope y'all don't do as well. I'm going to pick Iowa to beat Oregon and take that, fourth spot from Oregon in the Big Ten champion or the Big Ten
Conference,
rankings or in the conference.
Yep.
And I gotta grab Iowa. We talk about experience at quarterback. I'm a big fan of Moulton in that backfield for Iowa. He does Gronowski doesn't have the most touchdowns, but it's because this Kamari Moulton guy's pretty fucking good in my opinion. He only has 2 touchdowns, but still, bro, he's a big chain mover. And I just really feel like, are we gonna see the same Oregon we had at the start of the year that was getting a whole bunch of glaze from the media? I haven't seen that since they lost to Indiana. Like they've been an afterthought. They got they shit fucking they shit stuffed in the locker when they faced Indiana, and now it just really hasn't, like they was able to do what they did the next week, but then I remember after that it was not the same Oregon team. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna take Iowa. I'm thinking I'm thinking it's gonna be a 2014 game. I got Iowa winning. VJ?
Very, very shocking for sure. Shocking in terms of obviously, the odd maker, but this game is definitely scrappy for sure. You can definitely see that. Iowa's definitely a team that capitalizes heavy on that defense, and especially if they're able to get good field positioning on turnovers or good. One thing I like about Iowa too, they got good special teams. Their special teams is low key underrated. They can make a play with those. So they rely on that field position, and if Oregon slips up, they might give up some unnecessary points. So for sure, I could definitely see your point of view for that. Unfortunately, though, I just got to take the safe one on here in Oregon, and I'll probably just do a nice little like lower scoring game because I this Iowa defense is good. They have good momentum. They know how to move. So I'll just do 24-14, Oregon.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with VJ here. I'm going with Oregon. I feel like Oregon is like, all right, bro, we need to wake the fuck up. We're in a later stretch of the season, and Oregon were like, you know what? We're fucking playing with Iowa, but they finally get the respect. But we're fucking Oregon. We're gonna fucking show them why we're fucking Oregon. So I feel like that's what's gonna happen coming in this game. And with that being said, I do also have like a lower score game. I have Oregon winning 27-20. No, not 2017. So a 10-point difference.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Pretty
All right.
high, if you ask me. Shit.
Nah, it's not over 30 at least.
Yeah.
If
It's
you went
not,
over
but it's
30, I'd be
like-
like, man.
I mean, together, yeah.
But I'm talking. Yeah, I'm thinking like, bro,
Just in
that's
general.
that's pretty high though in general. Because I consider like over 40 to 45 like pretty high.
Damn, why clock you when you're scoring, man?
Oh,
Nah, I'm just saying like he's saying low, so I'm thinking okay, I'm thinking like 20 to like 7 or some shit. This dude said 27. I'm like damn, shit.
Damn.
And I'm like damn,
Damn.
that's high as hell. Shit.
I mean, to me, that's low in fucking college football. I don't watch the NFL with it.
I agree. I was gonna say shit, bro, because I was like over 30s when it's like
Yeah,
that's where
over
it's
30 for me is high. You know, when you out the NFL, fucking 20 points is fucking damn near shit. You might as well win the fucking Super Bowl. If you score 20 points.
For sure.
But-
For sure. But I'm just thinking on the teams, like just knowing both teams, because I'll try to watch as much.
Oh, he calling out your ball knowledge. He said knowing both teams. He said me as a ball knower, I know that these are good defense. Also to me is a fucking 7-3 win. Nah, calling out your ball knowledge is crazy.
I did not call out no ball knowledge. I literally just said just because I see both teams, it's like, bro, this is definitely one of those type of matchups, bro, for sure. Be lucky I didn't choose Iowa too. I was about to choose Iowa, but you wanted to complain, so.
But
Ooh.
who complained?
You motherfucker, you the only one that complained. Like, hopefully nobody else picked.
Oh, no one picked Iowa. I wanted to choose Iowa because I was like, bro, I really
Bro,
like.
do y'all know that like the last 3 weeks we have all picked the same teams
Yeah.
except fucking I think Rack on the BYU
BYU.
game a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I'm bro, I be trying to like go out the box, and then I'm usually the first pick, so I'm like, hopefully no one leaves Jordan Monster. Bro, you can do whatever you want, bro. Don't let me fucking dictate how you fucking play.
I'm not the one that said, I hope no one copies. I ain't say that.
You a grown man. Why are you letting me dictate who you pick?
Man,
It's a fucking podcast.
You called it out first. I was like, damn, I can't just.
My man VJ was trying to avoid the confrontation. Here we are with the confrontation, man.
He brought it up. he brought it up out of nowhere, bruh. He brought it up out of nowhere. I was just instigating y'all shit, and then he's like, "You lucky," like, bro.
Can't
You
really
could
instigate
have
it,
just
bro.
said that in your fucking shit, bro. You was like, "Man, I was leaning towards Iowa, but since you said that, I'll go Oregon." You waited until something else happened and then bring it back up, bro.
Alright, bro.
It is
Back
what
to the
it
main
is, bro.
topic, bro.
Hey, bro, I was just trying to instigate, and fucking VJ wants to flip shit on me. All right, is that it?
Now we got
what we doing.
LSU versus Alabama, bro.
You got that low scoring ass game and 27 points. Okay. Done instigating. SEC matchup. I was struggling to pull games. I was looking at my one eye on shit. I'm like, do people give a fuck about Navy and Notre Dame? Probably not. It's probably gonna be a blowout anyways. And yeah, we got LSU 7:30 start time in what the fuck is this? Tallahassee, Tuscaloosa, bro. Tuscaloosa, of course, bro. Alabama number 4 in the country, 7-1, 5-0 in SEC play. They bring LSU. LSU's off a bye week, firing Brian Kelly 2 weeks ago. And now they go and face number 4 team in the country. Good fucking luck. And Garrett Nussmeier, hopefully he's fucking 100%, bro. Because every time I hear about him, it's fucking he's never 100%. But he's had 2 weeks to fucking figure out what his health is going on with. But yeah, this is just LSU team that's been underperforming on offense. And the defense has been overperforming in my opinion. So it's going to be a very interesting matchup. Alabama is going to be coming off a bye week as well, so they had a lot to address in that South Carolina win. I think, and yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Jeremy Bernard, Isaiah Horton, you want him more involved, and Ryan Williams for the pass catchers at Alabama. You got Ty Simpson in that backfield. You want more at the run game. It's just a lot of offenses for the last couple weeks, especially LSU for the whole season has a lot more to do. There's a lot more potential on both offenses. But defense is where I think both teams get at it. LSU more infamous with it. But yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. I want to see a good close game where it's clean, because I think Ty Simpson plays a very clean game, has 1 interception on the season, 20 touchdowns, pretty fucking good stats, and it's kind of like he took a bye week and now he's third in like Heisman votes and shit, or the betting odds for Heisman. So I want to see how he comes out in response to that. But this LSU defense is no joke. I can see Ty Simpson kind of struggling a little bit, but I think Nussmeier needs to play the cleanest game he has of the season. He has a great fucking receiving core that just hasn't lived up to it. Blame the offense coordinator all you want. Whoever's fucking running the show at interim head coach for LSU should come with a different game plan, man, because it obviously wasn't working when Brian Kelly was here, and now he's out the door. It's time for you to show what your potential could possibly be with a competent head coach. VJ, how you look at it?
Honestly, listen. You asked me week 1. This was the premiere. I gotta stay up to watch this type of matchup. Now it's like, bro, LSU.
You going to sleep early?
Bro.
You might watch the first Alabama drive and be like, "Yo, it's over."
Yeah, bro. Dude, the way LSU season been, bro, they got suplex, bro. They got suplex 30 times, dude. Their season has not gone the way they wanted to. Granted, a couple things played a factor here and there, but like realistically, it was just chalked away. The way how it like towards, I'd say the middle part of the season, the way for LSU, this shit was chalked. And Bama, they've been showing out. I think, like you just said, off a bye week, right?
Yeah, yep. Both
off a bye week, so it's like they got time to freshen up against. I've been hearing a lot about the Bama squad being low key a little injured, like a little beat up,
banged up.
They're
four straight ranked opponents wins. That'll do it to you.
Yeah, they're a little banged up. Now they're coming in this game. I wouldn't say healthy, but that bye week would do some wonders, and they're at home. It's like, yeah, this is not gonna turn out well for LSU in my eyes. So we'll see what happens when the game comes through. What about you, Rack?
Yeah, early on, LSU defense. LSU defense still good. There's always been that question mark with LSU offense to see when will they ever start to click, and they haven't. And they finally fired Brian Kelly. Maybe this is when what's the fuck his name? Nussmeier pulled a fucking Nico Alva and fucking go fucking crazy and beat fucking Penn State. But in this instance, fucking Nussmeier will go beat fucking Ty Simpson and fucking Alabama, bro. What will it happen? Probably not. But it seems like you fire your coach, your head coach, and you go and fucking win games. Why? I don't fucking know why. LSU, like I said, LSU only problem was their offense. You know what's wrong with fucking UCLA? Their fucking offense. They couldn't fucking get anything going. Nico Alva was looking like a fucking 0-star recruit out there. I don't know what the fuck happened, but now he back to looking to a 5-star recruit that he's supposed to be, I guess. And yeah, so yeah, I'm good. Cameron?
All right. When teams fire their head coach, they come out with a little bit more energy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think is going to happen in this game. It's going to be more energy. I think LSU is going to be able to do the impossible.
Really?
And score 35 points and lose with Alabama scoring 37. Yes, I think it's gonna be that close. I think
How did
LSU is
you?
gonna come in with, but there's emphasis on this bye week of the offense needs to get going. But this defense can't keep holding teams under 30 and us not being able to score 30 or even 25 plus. That needs to be an emphasis for LSU, and I just hope for just like a program's sake and for your own like pride's sake. You come out and you give Alabama everything. You should put everything on the line in this game, bro. I don't give a fuck if it's in Alabama. I don't give a fuck if the crowd's in your ear. The crowd noise is going crazy. I gotta do this when I'm Nussmeier and it's getting to my ass, and I gotta every time I'm at the line, bro, I gotta slam my fucking hands together because LSU got Arkansas, Western Kentucky, and then Oklahoma left, bro. I feel like if you're not willing to throw everything out on the line, bro, I don't know what you're fighting for. If Nussmeier goes down to injury, bro, it needs to happen in this game. I don't give a fuck, bro. Like I need everything on the line, bro. I need a Drew Aller 2.0, bro. I keep calling it out, bro, because I'm tired of hearing about him fucking his injuries, bro. Stop crying and fucking put the ball in the end zone, put them in your receiver's hands, and let them make a play on it, bro. But yeah, 37-34, Alabama gets to win, but it doesn't come easy. Or what I say, 35-37, 37-35. BJ,
Ooh, I mean, who knows what could happen? This is the fucking SEC. I think definitely what Bama definitely wants to do though is definitely show that run game because I've been hearing a lot about that run game being so mid in that regard. I know Jam Miller's been doing his thing, but like I mean, he's one of the few guys that I know that haven't been healthy. So I think
yeah,
that definitely might play a factor in terms of how Alabama wants to do things. Defensively, they can do all right, but it's just they got to have some consistency in there for me to be like this is a very competent defense to go against anyone in the country. So obviously, I got Alabama because it just they're on a
wow,
roll. They off a bye week.
wow, just gonna copy me,
Um,
bro.
um, but I think score wise,
Wait, this.
31-24.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. I feel like LSU offense is gonna come alive. I feel like we're gonna see Nasmire throwing some shit, just letting that bitch loose. Will it look good? Hopefully, we're gonna get like, oh my god, holy shit, they got a fucking 40-yard gain from this. Holy shit, but we'll see. But I have a very extremely high scoring game, as Alabama will score 42 points. I believe they're gonna keep it close in the first half.
High scoring to you?
Yeah, 42 points. Just coming from Alabama, 42 points, and then I got LSU scoring like 28. Yeah, they're gonna keep it. They're gonna keep it close in the first half, and then fucking Ty Simpson's like, all right, let me lock in. Let me go win my fucking Heisman and throw all this fucking ball all to fucking Ryan Williams for him, make him, not become relevant. But I haven't been hearing from Ryan Williams. It used to be Ryan Williams, Jeremiah Smith. We hear Jeremiah Smith. Somebody else, where that person go? But he got injured, so we will let it go.
Ryan Williams had 72 yards in the South Carolina game. In the Tennessee game, didn't he put up 100?
I don't know, man.
Right, he put up 87, bruh. Put up fucking 87. He led the pass catchers in that Tennessee win when they beat the number 11 team by 17 points. That was Ryan Williams. Yeah, he's finally healthy. But yeah, I think it's just because he paid his nails, bruh. I think that's the problem. That's the reason for all his drops. He doing fucking side missions and shit, bruh. Oh, hey. All right, time for the one eye on part of the show. We got games I want to highlight. Just think it's interesting. Just what players to watch. Fucking conference championships to chase. And where teams stand at this point in the season. Let's go to the Big 12. We got a 8 p.m. Friday night lights game. Houston, Connor Wigman, they kind of got eliminated from Big 12 play a couple weeks ago with their loss, and now they're going to UCF and should dog walk this guy right here, bro. Look at this guy, bro. I don't know if he's albino or whatever, bro, but it has nothing to do with his quarterback play. But he's just garbage, bro. He's just fucking garbage. Please, like, fucking fire him. Fucking take his NIL deal. Fucking teachers, if you're teaching this guy, just give him F's, bro. Just make him depressed so he doesn't want to play football no more. Because UCF is in a bad spot right now. Scott Frost is a pretty decent fucking head coach, but this guy at the helm of everything isn't gonna get it done. Just expect Dean Connors to have another big game like he always does, bro. 657 yards on the season. Shout out, bro. And Connor Wigman's decent quarterback. Played the Texas A&M last year and got a spot taken by Marcel Reed. I'll never forget that. Anyways, Northwestern, USC has a pretty interesting schedule for the rest of the year. Obviously, that Oregon game is the highlight of it. Iowa next week. But Northwestern's one of them trap games, bro. You look too far ahead. You think you just beat Nebraska, you're a good team. Yo, Northwestern's 5-3, buddy. You cannot slip up. That's again another Friday Night Lights game. I expect Jane Mayava to come out and hopefully get that passing game back going. King Miller in the run game's pretty decent. Makai Lemon, get him more involved than he was last week. Because Jane Mayava couldn't throw the ball. We got a Tulane Memphis game. Tulane kind of got eliminated from playoffs like last week. They ended up taking a loss. And that was a Thursday night game, bro. They lost early in the week, bro. But they're playing under the lights again. 9 p.m. start time at Memphis. Memphis trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. You've seen them at the 12th spot in the college football playoff rankings in that bracket. But yeah, Navy's kind of in front of them. Navy plays Notre Dame, so you expect them to drop, and then it should be North Texas and Memphis if Memphis is able to win this week. And yeah, you see his Brandon Lewis guy. He's pretty fucking good. 1,800 yards throwing and 562 on the ground. Pretty hard to fucking guard him. So you talk about Georgia. You better hope C.J. Allen everywhere if they face each other. Indiana at Penn State. People are making this more than what it is. Maybe the 4 or 5 stars at Penn State can give Indiana a run for their money, but if you 17-14.5 against Ohio State, maybe that's what you need to bring to Indiana to try to keep it close. But I don't expect much from this game. Maybe that's just me. I think Grunkenmeyer, pretty decent quarterback in my opinion. Kaytron Allen showed a lot of life last week in the first half. The pass catches were again not a factor in the Ohio State game in my opinion. Made some cool catches down the field a little bit, 10, 15-yard gains. But Indiana, you know how this Indiana team gets. I'm pretty sure Omar Cooper should be back and fully healthy, but Elijah Surratt, he's going to be out this game. And yeah, look at Omar Cooper to have a big game, maybe 150 plus, because that's just how good he is. And Surratt being out is kind of second weapon away from Mendoza that potentially doesn't play. Georgia at Mississippi State. Georgia, we talk about the comeback kids. I think 5 comeback victories in their games, or maybe 4, something like that. A lot though. Georgia has Texas next week, and then Georgia Tech down the line. So we talk about this team needed to kind of play perfect up to this point where they got the ranked matchups left, and they was able to keep it close and get these victories against these like lower grade teams in my opinion, like a Ole Miss or Tennessee that hasn't taken a step forward in the SEC. But Texas team, I feel like if you go down against the Texas team, Sark not gonna let you get that lead back. So I'm trying to make sure they don't look too far ahead. It's gonna be at Mississippi State. Blake Shapen and the Mississippi State Bulldogs coming off a great win against Arkansas, kind of like one of them games where it's like you kind of needed that to see yourself win. Let's see if they can propel them to get them a close game against Georgia. And that Gunnar Stockton guy is going to have to stand there play perfect yet again to try to keep this game close. And I'm maybe overrating Mississippi State in this game, but I like a home team that's coming off a great win that they needed as a college football team. And now, after 4 straight losses, this Mississippi State team could do something that not a lot of teams have done this year except Alabama and beat Georgia. SMU coming off that big win against Miami at home. That's to go on the road to Boston College. I'm a big fan of Boston College new quarterback. He's basically going to get to start this game, it looked like. And yeah, this guy's fucking trash. Don't look at this guy's stats. But Kevin Jennings is going to be the guy to watch on this team. TJ Horn's a pretty decent running back. And yeah, Kevin Jennings can do it both mostly with his arm, but he can get the eventual run plays going. And I don't expect this to be close, but look at it, maybe a 2-3 score game. A different setter with Boston College losing, but they have a freshman quarterback that I'm fucking with in James. And yeah, I just think it's gonna be an interesting game because SMU is really not out the picture of everything with the ACC standings, but they're looking out the outside looking in with 1 loss in conference play, but 3 losses on the season. Colorado at West Virginia. Somebody smells like shit. And it's Colorado's QB play, bro. Juju Lewis is going to get his first start. And you got Scotty Fox Jr., the other freshman. It's going to be a freshman versus freshman and 2 trash fucking Big 12 teams playing. I think this has a lot to weigh on for Dion and his team because West Virginia's a good team, man. I think if they fuck around and let Cam Vaughn get into rhythm, bro, he's their best pass catcher. Really wasn't a factor last week. But I think this week, if they can get him going with that trash ass Colorado secondary, bro, this could get out of hand real quick, bro. And this one's them tone setters where Colorado was playing NBA YoungBoy after they got the upset win earlier this season, and then they just came out and got their fucking ass beat out the bye week twice. That belt was laid twice on them, and Caden Salter has not been that guy, bro. He's benched now. Ryan Staub came in the game or whatever and fucking 2 pass attempts, 2 interceptions. He's gone. So you're not looking at nobody else to get in this game. It should be a Juju Lewis straightforward game for the whole way through. Because this is a bad West Virginia team that's 3-6, hasn't played up to the potential, and now Scotty Fox Jr. is the freshman quarterback, and Cam Vaughn is a very good pass catcher when he gets started. And that secondary is going to get tested in Colorado. I just don't know if they're up for the task. I think Colorado has a high ceiling, a way higher ceiling than West Virginia, but that floor is fucking low. You're in the fucking basement with their floor. Ohio State at Purdue. We talked about this on the Buckeye Fan Film Room. That's a podcast that we do every Monday. We record Monday, drop today. So be on the lookout for that. We talked about this game, and yeah, 2.9% chance for Purdue. Yes, this is not 2017. Isn't that when we lost Purdue? It doesn't matter. I want to talk about losses because this team is 8-0. Rolling and Julian Sand for Heisman, Jeremiah Smith for Heisman, all the above, bro. 2 Buckeyes in New York at the end of the year, hopefully. A sit down, the Bulldog. Yes, this is a very important game for everybody to come in. This is the Austin Simmons game, bro. Fuck Trinidad Chambliss. I want to see Austin Simmons come in, develop a little bit against the Citadel team. And I'm joking. I don't think he should get the start, but I would expect Austin Simmons to get in this game, man. I want to see a sighting of him, man. I haven't seen him in a while, bro. If you don't know, Austin Simmons was a starter this year. I think in the second or third game, he basically got out with an injury. He was kind of slow to get back, missed 2 games, and in the third game, it was kind of like, yeah, he's healthy. He's just not playing no more. Trinidad Chambliss took that spot. Keywan Lakes in the backfield. Watkins, fucking Winston Watkins, the freshman wide receiver. I want him to come back. He had a crazy game 2 weeks ago. Was not a factor last game. And then you got Wallace, another pass catcher. There's wide receivers all over this board because Trinidad Chambliss just opens that field for the wide receivers. Shout out Umam Yellen. I expect him. He only has 4.5 sacks, but bro, he's one of the factors on that defense for Ole Miss. Shout out him. I think his brother's in the NFL last year, Prince Umam Yellen. Now we go on to the East Coast teams of the Big Ten. We got Maryland at Rutgers. Both got 4 wins. Both are kind of like in the bottom of the Big Ten. Yeah, all the way down here. But at least you're better than Penn State. Hanging out on that. But Caveat Manus was Washington, kind of the exact opposites in my opinion. Both could throw the ball, but you know, Caveat Manus kind of got that wide receivers to throw to. Malik Washington doesn't. But I'm pretty sure KJ Duff and Ian Strong should be playing in this game. That's going to be very interesting. And I just want Maryland to keep it close. I want the mistakes from Malik Washington to be at very minimum. It's very hard to look at this guy and be like, yo, this dude's trash, because he's not, bro. The stats may say one thing, and I don't want to call him trash because he's been nothing but trash, but you talk about 4 straight losses, bro. You expect the quarterback play not to be good, but it's really the offense coordinator and head coach. They need to get that shit out of there, bro. They do not have an easy schedule, and they're looking at like a potential bowl year, and you would hope that doesn't be a thing. But it starts with really Rutgers because you got 2 very tough games in Illinois and Michigan to look forward to, and then Michigan State at the end of the year, which is not easy in my opinion. But yeah, shout out Rutgers. I would try to lean towards them because they got the best players on the field in my opinion. Syracuse at Miami. Yeah, Miami's kind of like they're on the outside looking at the playoffs. It's kind of like a repeat of last season, man. You had a good defense at the start of the year. I don't know what happened, man. But Syracuse, oh man, I don't know who they're starting at quarterback. It doesn't fucking matter. I expect Miami to roll them over and get back to that. It's kind of like a stepping stone. It's like a Stanford team. You try to just get your footing with them. 3-6 Syracuse team obviously struggling, and Jelly's out for the season. Got out in the Clemson game. I say it every time. But Miami, this is a stepping stone to get back into it and just play your spot. See how the cookies crumble in the ACC because you're looking like you're not going to get in the ACC championship. But 2-loss Miami team that has I think Pittsburgh left. You got Pitt, Virginia Tech, NC State, Syracuse. Not the toughest schedule, but I think if you went out, you still got an argument to be in there. I just think it's interesting, but shout out Fran Brown over at Syracuse. Shout out Cristobal over at Miami. His job looked like he is about to be on the line for another year in a row. Duke at UConn. Yes, this is not a basketball matchup. I know college basketball is among us, but this is one of 2 non-basketball football matchups where, UConn, I don't know where the fuck they lie. I don't know how they're not in the ACC, but yeah, they're 6-3 at least. Whatever conference they're in, the American, the Sun Belt, I don't know at this point. But shout out Darian Mensah, Duke. They're on the outside looking in of the ACC championship, but bro, a lot of these teams face each other, and potentially they're 4-1 conference play. So watch them rise up, and they were able to beat Clemson last week, bro. So let's see if they can beat down on the Huskers or Huskies. Kansas at Arizona. Again, another non-college basketball game. This is football. So we got Jalen Daniels on one side, no food on the other, and then two like underrated Big 12 teams that can get that upset, but they're facing each other this week. There's no upset to be had, and yeah, they're kind of like on the bottom. They're right here, but I call them middle of the pack team, bro. They lost to the Texas Techs, the BYU, Cincinnati's on the outside looking in of anything. They're not ranked 5-3, 5-4. I just think this could be a competitive football game if you were to watch. Iowa State at TCU. Iowa State, 4 losses in a row. Yeah, they're fucking shit now. Josh Hoover, he's 6-2. He got losses on the season to some pretty decent like Arizona States, the Baylors, the middle of the pack. Big 12 that's always talk about. But yeah, these are teams that are really not fighting for nothing at this point. TCU a little bit better than Iowa State with 2 losses, but yeah, I just think this could be good quarterback play. You got Rocco Beck versus Josh Hoover. McAllister, 700 receiving yards, kind of underrated. Not a name that you hear about a lot in the college football receiving realm. Auburn at Vanderbilt. Yeah, it's your head coach got fired, so you could go on the road and probably not beat Vanderbilt, but you just hope to make it close, man. I don't know if Jackson Arnold's gonna get the nod. I don't know if it's gonna be fucking Ashton Daniels or whoever dude is that's going to be starting for Auburn's quarterback, but I just think it's going to be interesting. I want to see Cam Coleman get some more looks. Jeremiah Cobb, a very, very good running back in the SEC. Diego Pav, you see him in 2 statistical categories, if I could speak properly. Holy shit. 2,000 yards passing, 500 rushing. Eli Stowers leading and receiving as a tight end. If you didn't know, Diego Pavia and Eli Stowers were roommates. They're roommates now. Stowers was a quarterback when Diego Pavia was at his last college. I forget what it was, like fucking New Mexico or some shit. They were fighting for spots, and then Stowers had to switch to tight end. And then when Diego Pavia went to Vanderbilt, Eli Stowers followed him. Kind of a cool story I just learned about. But yeah, Eli Stowers looking to be the NFL draft of Diego Pavia on the outside looking in, trying to get a 7th year in college. But yeah, this is just another matchup. Maybe you just watch it because it could be close because of the head coaching switch. I think there's something that when you fire your head coach, your team just plays better somehow. Washington number 23 going on the road to Wisconsin. Wisconsin's a tough place to play. No, it is not. Ohio State back-to-back weeks held on a 0 at home. Wisconsin's pretty shit. I'm just looking at this as like another stepping stone for the mid-tier Big Ten teams that need to just get some confidence. They got the win against Illinois last week, made Illinois unranked this week. Now you got Wisconsin, Purdue, UCLA. You got games leading up to this Oregon game that's going to be probably one of the more serious matchups when it comes to the Big Ten and potentially getting into that college football playoffs that you see right here. So yeah, shout out Washington, shout out Jonah Coleman, Boston. Damon Williams, this big 3 is kind of crazy, bro. 2,000, 600, definitely one of the better big 3s in all of Big Ten. Stanford at North Carolina. North Carolina tries to get another win. Like, that's really all I could pull from this. Lost. Oh, they won against Syracuse. Syracuse is fucking shit, bro. Syracuse is fucking shit, bro. Imagine living in fucking New York and gotta fucking lose to fucking North Carolina, bro. I don't know. Probably should watch the suicide rate in North New York. But you got Carmelo Anthony's son to look forward to in the basketball part of things for Syracuse, so shout out that. But yeah, Stanford versus North Carolina, I think it could be a competitive game. Both got 3 wins on the season. Stanford, I've watched many of their games, and I can't take nothing from it. I think their quarterback play is pretty fucking shit. They had a chance to beat Pittsburgh last week and really didn't care to win, so he lost 35-20. So it is what it is. Shout out Gio Lopez. Damon June, the true freshman out of North Carolina, bro, is looking like one of them guys, man. He was putting up the stats last week. What was this? 166 rush yards last week? Was this him? Ain't no way this is him. Let's look at the game log. But yeah, really came alive. 148 in the season, but oh no, he had 100 yards. 100 yards and 1 touchdown. In the game last week. But yeah, this guy is their guy that they should be able to lean on more and make Gio Lopez's job a whole lot easier. Wake Forest at Virginia. Every week gonna be on upset watch for me. I don't go fuck if Chandler Morris fucking went to 7 different fucking colleges in his career, bruh. This dude's a fraud, bruh. I don't give a fuck what he looked like, bruh. Wake Forest, Duke, Virginia Tech, bruh. They have potential to lose all of them games, bruh. Not gonna lie, bruh. Virginia's at the top of the ACC, potentially going to the ACC championship if everything works out in their favor. I just don't know if it is, bro. They're playing a lot of these games close and making me less and less confident every single week, and that's why I'm just a hater of them. Rosie Cup, yo,
yeah,
last man got Cup. That shit is not fulfilling. Cal at Louisville.
You on my
Cal
dick
was a
for
lot
what?
better than the record. Cal was a lot better than what the record shows. They play a lot of these teams close. Ended up not falling in their favor, losing a couple of them. But the big three and Miller Moss, Isaac Brown, and Chris Bell. I talk about big three because, bro, when you have a good quarterback, good running back, good wide receiver one, it makes your job a whole lot easier. And Louisville has that, bro. But the big three for the other team isn't that bad. Sekapatelli, Raphael led in rushing and receiving last week, and then De Jesus had a couple drops in that game, a couple crucial drops, and made California lose last week. But now he's trying to bounce back, and he's not a bad wide receiver in any means. But Chris Bell, potential wide receiver in the NFL. Isaac Brown, he's one of the nation's leading in 782 rushing yards. But yeah, Miller Moss been playing a great season. He's a transfer in from USC, and now Louisville is ranked number 15, right behind Virginia, and potentially ACC championship spot if they would like to take that. Florida State at Clemson. Somebody smells like shit, and it's both of the teams, and both head coaches are fucking ass. Dabo Swinney, bro, I don't know how he goes into every fucking meeting and fucking, oh, let me bring the refs this week so people don't focus on my job security. Yeah, buddy, I don't know how many times you're gonna keep losing, and how many times the fucking Clemson committee is like gonna be like, yeah, well, let's just keep them, just because there's not much better out there. But holy shit, 5 losses, yo, I'm gonna picking this team to win a championship, bro. Wasn't me. It definitely wasn't me. But Florida State, yeah, how many games have they lost in a row? A whole fucking lot. But they won against Wake Forest last week and did it in pretty convincing fashion. I thought it was going to be a team that could give them a little run for their money. But yeah, I don't think if Florida State's favored in any of their matchups the rest of the year. They got an NC State matchup to look forward to. I think, Florida? Yeah, I'm definitely not favoring them in that. But shout out Deuce Robinson, Tommy Castellanos. They hooked up last week. Pause. That sounds crazy. But they was locked in last week, bro. Deuce was catching everything that was thrown his way. One-on-one, fucking over the top, everything, bro. Out routes, he was there, bro. So shout out him. He's been playing up to his potential. But Cape Klubnik and Clemson was kind of doing their thing against the loss against Duke, bro. Duke got the score at the end and fucking went for 2 and got it. So it is what it is, bro. But yeah, I think pretty much Russ goes out for the season. I was their leading receiver up to this point, but Club still got options, bro. But yeah, this Dabo shit. I don't know how many more games you lose, bro. This team's about to miss out on a bowl game. So are we talking about a Clemson team that's about to not go bowling? And we're talking about he's keeping his job? What expectations do you have at Clemson? Plus the job security. It's what Dabo has done in the past that is reason he still has a job to this day. Yeah, Navy and Notre Dame. Yeah, Navy kind of just got their ass beat last week, bro. And yeah, it really wasn't close. It says 14 points, but it felt like a whole lot more. And yeah, I don't really have much to expect. If it was a Navy home game, it would still be the same result probably. They would probably still get their fucking ass beat, but you just happen to not get beat in front of your fans this week. So yeah, shout out to Notre Dame, top 10 in the country. I thought we was talking about them losing 2 straight, and it was 2 good losses at the start of the season, but we was like, bro, they gotta win out. They could do that, but bro, we was trying to write them off as playoff teams, but now independent. They don't got a conference championship to worry about. And yeah, it's Navy the one worrying about the conference championship. They still lead the American, and pretty much if they win this game, they should be in the American, in my opinion. But it doesn't come easy. Navy's probably gonna lose this game, and that drops them. You see all these one-loss conference teams; they'll be in the middle of the pack easily. And that'll be like a Memphis North Texas game if Memphis to win this week and North Texas to win out, obviously. So I think the American is gonna give that 12th team in the playoff, and I don't think Navy's gonna be one of them, unfortunately. Shout out Horvath, 1,100 and 900 rushing yards. Does fucking everything for them. But I think the run kind of ends here. You just look forward to the Navy and Army game in week fucking 14 or some shit, bro. That's the American game that everybody wants to see. And yeah, not much to say there. Not much more to say. Florida at Kentucky, middle of the SEC kind of game. Florida got the potential. Cutter Bully out there in Kentucky is hosting this game at night. Says at the Swamp, bro. I think it's gonna be very interesting. I think it's gonna say a lot about Kentucky and their potential. Mark Stoops problem, if you call it a problem, their head coach, if they're not able to get this game at home and kind of just like end their suffering with only 3 wins on the season. They were able to win last week against Auburn, a 10-3 win, but that ended a 4-game losing streak. And as a Kentucky fan, you just want to really just compete. So if you can't beat Florida, I don't know what else you want to say. You beat Auburn last week, yes, and now it's kind of like you kind of got lucky there, and now it's Florida. And DJ Lagway, Jaden Ball has played so much better. in the last couple weeks. I've been able to kind of just help Florida get back on track, if you would say that. I don't know what track they're trying to get back on, but you got a couple W's mixed in with these L's. But yeah, for the end of the season, Florida really doesn't got much expectations except to get to a bowl game, hopefully. I mean, DJ Lagway might enter the transfer portal, and I think that might be best for him because I feel like Florida just doesn't play the way that we thought they was going to play Lagway this year. It's very similar to a Nussmeier LSU situation where it's like, or Drew Aller Penn State situation, and you see how disastrous those teams are. It's like, bro, play to the quarterback's strengths. 9 touchdowns or 9 interceptions to 10 touchdowns on the season for Lagway. Played a lot better in these games. Made it very competitive, even in the losses. But it's just a bad game all around, bro. You got a fucking Calzada should have came back for Kentucky. They decided to bench him, just go with the freshman. Kind of a crazy thing. And then just the underachieving Florida Gators on the road. So there's that. Nebraska out UCLA. Nebraska and Matt Rule read up. Got his little contract extension. Dylan Raiola out for the season. Got to rely on TJ to get it done. Emmett Johnson, leading rusher, I think, in all of college football, if I'm not mistaken. But shout out Emmett doing his thing out there. And yeah, you got someone on UCLA side like Imal Yava that's fucking leading in rushing and passing. And this kind of team fizzled out. It had the hype with the 3-0 wins, and then you lost to Indiana. Now it's bye week time, and now you're on Nebraska, Ohio State, Washington, USC. It sounds like belt. It's just how competitive can you be? We know how good this UCLA team can be. And did they take anything from the bye week and not lost to Indiana that they can kind of hold their hat on for the rest of the year? Can they get that signature win? They're going to be facing 3 ranked teams for the end of the year. In Nebraska, you're in a bowl game at least. Your young quarterback's going to be playing in a bowl game at least, and you'll just take that at this point. And that will conclude the One Eye On part of the show segment podcast. Thank you.
W. Ready? Any final thoughts, y'all?
I'm good.
No, we good.
Nah.
You think if Nebraska go to a bowl game, you think Nebraska will win that bowl game, or it depends on who they play? I'm just saying.
How the fuck am I supposed to know that, bro?
I don't know, bro.
You want me to predict what bowl?
Yeah, bro.
Fucking the backyard fucking Cheez-It bowl and shit.
Yeah, bro.
The LA Bowl, the Cheez-Its Bowl, the Pop
Yeah,
Bowl,
bro.
something. I don't know.
Yeah, bro. You think
I don't know, bro.
like I'm just saying, like you think the chances are high? No, right? Because
I think I gotta see a full body of work of the quarterback, and I think the quarterback's pretty decent, bro. The fact that he went to Nebraska because he knew he was gonna play behind Dylan Raiola and was ready to just take that reins when he leaves, and the fact that he got injured and was able to just jump back in there, it's gonna say a whole lot about Matt Rule and this quarterback. It's what TJ something. You know, let me get his name. I can't keep calling him the fucking. I know it's TJ, but
Yeah, TJ
good.
Lateef, I think.
TJ Lateef.
oh wow,
VJ, how you know that? You know ball?
You said it.
When? When?
You said it earlier. You're like, yeah, TJ Lateef. When you're doing your little segment for Nebraska,
No, I didn't. I swear I didn't, because I just called him TJ.
bro. Okay, even if you didn't say it, but I remember you said it last time too. Like,
Yeah, I said it last time.
So,
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just like, okay, because I didn't know who was the quarterback until you said it. So I was like, all right, cool. TJ Lateef.
Hey, bruh. True freshman out of Compton, California. Whoa.
whoa!
What you doing in Nebraska, young bull? Yo.
Trying to get out
Let
the
him go.
yeah.
He said the LA Bowl. VJ said like the LA Cheez-It Bowl. Let him go there.
LA Bowl, Cheez-Its Bowl.
Go there.
Something,
Oh,
bro.
hey.
I don't know.
So shit, if they go over there, it seems like they about to win, bro. Unless they face UCLA, then it's like ooh. Anyways, alright.
I mean, I can show you his stats. 6 for 7, 128 in the Akron win, 68-0. 5 for 5, 126 against HCU. The fuck is Houston Christian Huskies? You went 5 for 5 there. Touchdown, and then last week 5 for 7.
Wow.
Yards.
Hey,
I think Dane Keene. Look, I feel like TJ Lateef can be. It's definitely he's not fucking Dylan Raiola in the sense of fucking doing the extra shit Mahomes like shit. But I think if Matt Rule can like trust him, make some throws to Dan Key's a pretty decent wide receiver. He's someone I heard about in the offseason that could potentially take that leap last year and just hasn't worked out in their favor, bro. So I think that could be a connection. And Emmett Johnson, bro, we're gonna need a whole lot out of Emmett Johnson, and he's probably like a top 3 running back into college football today, bro. He's been putting up a lot of numbers, bro. So shout out EJ.
Gotcha. Alrighty, I guess that's all. That's all we got. This has been the One Foot In podcast. Obviously, remember we are currently live right now, every Thursday. At least we try every Thursday. So far, it's been every Thursday, 8 p.m. EST. If you guys are
Really tried.
I mean, you never know. You know, we're gonna try next week. Till all of a sudden a plane crashes in my house.
Every Thursday. There's no questions. Hit the link in the description. Go to the link tree. Hit the follow on Twitch. Make sure the notification button's on. If you have to go to your settings on your phone, do that shit, bro. It helps a lot more than everybody knows, bro. Just hitting the like button, subscribing, all that shit, bro. You think YouTubers just say this shit just to say it, bro? It actually helps us get in the algorithm. It pushes our video out to more audiences, all that good shit. So we just ask because you made through the whole video. You're at the end of the video. Unless you care about Nebraska, the last game I talked about in the One Eye On, and you want to get our thoughts on that, you're here now. You're still listening to me, so just click on the fucking like button, subscribe, drop a comment if you think I have a crazy take, or fucking Slicks be yapping sometimes and he be saying anything about fucking, Ryan Day fucking made the modern day coaches fucking his sons or whatever he says. But yeah, basically.
I have no idea what the fuck. Yeah, fuck it. Whatever he said. Y'all go do that. Appreciate you, Cameron. Appreciate you, VJ, as always, for y'all every weekly analysis of every single team. Something I don't have. But that's he say, she say, whatever. You got mentioned in the video. Consider clicking that subscribe button, as it help a lot. Also, since you're down there, consider clicking that like button as well, as it really does, tremendously does help us. But other than that, we appreciate all the love, support. We get you out. We get you on next. Peace.